Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Charles, and welcome you guys to another episode of the Dreamerspro Show. We cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment, and we give you guys a fresh perspective on things and how we see them. And today we got a pretty interesting show for you guys here that we definitely want to, get into here. But before we get into it, please make sure you like the video and subscribe. To the channel. Now, today I want to focus on an interview that I saw in its entirety. That featured Charles Barkley on Showtime Basketball. And what's interesting, this show used to be called All the Smoke, and now going on their YouTube channel, it seems they did a quiet rebranding, and now they're calling it Showtime Basketball. Right? That's what I see. Showtime Basketball. No. I think it's All the Smoke still. Excuse me, it's still All the Smoke, but I think they're calling the suite of shows Showtime Basketball. Anyway. So he was on there yesterday, and they premiered a show from their series there. These guys do a great job in getting people to open up and speak to them, especially as being former athletes. So they were there talking, and they talked about a range of things. And then early in the interview, probably within the first, not early in the interview, later on in the interview, after the hour mark, it got to the point where they started to talk about Michael Jordan, right? And Matt Barnes and Steven Jackson have expressed their interest to get Michael Jordan on that show. Who knows? They may be able to pull it off. And they asked Charles to basically touch on his relationship with Michael Jordan. Now, as y'all know, him and Michael Jordan were friends for a long time. They were buddy-buddy. You saw them on the Dream Team. And they seemed to be guys that really got along really swell, right? But one day on NBA on TNT, Charles Barkley was asked to give his opinion about MJ's governing style, or the success or lack thereof that MJ has been had at that time, governing the Charlotte Hornets. And he basically said some things that Michael Jordan did not like whatsoever. And MJ ended up giving him a call and basically telling him, this thing is through, we're done. And actually what we want to do is we want to play Charles Barkley sort of explaining that. And also we want to play him talking about the pain he feels from them no longer being friendly. So take a listen to what he had to say here, and then we're going to come back and react to his comments. Take a listen to that there.
You and MJ were really close.
Yes.
And haven't spoke in some time. Is there light at the end of the tunnel with that? Do you feel like you guys can mend that?
That would be on his end, Matt. He was my best friend at the time, and I love the guy and I miss the guy. But, I got to do my job. What I said, first of all, I don't think it's fair for me to critique other GMs and coaches and have a double standard. That goes back to the Skip Bayless thing. Like, you can tell the guys he like and guys he dislike. I think I'm fair to everybody. What I said about Michael, I said, I don't know if he's ever going to be successful because of the people around him. I think he hires too many of his friends. And because your friends don't ever tell you no. The hardest thing about being famous is because you're paying all the bills. They're on your private jet. They're not going to tell you when you're doing something wrong. And I said that because he was struggling as a general manager, running the team. And I said, I don't know if he's ever going to be successful because the people around him are never going to tell him no and don't draft that dude. No, we need to trade that dude, blah, blah, blah. And he went ballistic. And he called me, and that's the last thing I heard was, you're supposed to be my boy and blah, blah. And I said, man, I got to do my job. And we haven't spoken since that night. And that was probably close to 10 years ago.
Here are my thoughts. First of all, I like his honesty, right? I like his honesty that he's like, hey, listen, I still miss the guy, right? I wasn't aware that it's been 10 years since him and Michael Jordan haven't had a conversation. 10 years is a very long time, right? 10 years is a long time, and 10 years is a long time to be holding on to something. Now, here's the reality of things. It's one thing to cut off someone that you didn't really have any connection with, and maybe a person that screwed you over one time, you're like one or two times, you're like, I'm done with you. You no longer exist to me, That's one thing. You can kind of do that and get over it quickly. But for you to cut off someone, especially abruptly, someone that you had a relationship with and was very friendly with, for you to abruptly cut that person off, no matter how much you say it doesn't hurt you or you don't care, you're carrying something with you. You're carrying something with you. Maybe it's that anger, maybe it's that resentment, whatever it is, you're carrying something with you. You may not think that, but you are, right? And for this thing to have been going on for this long is really incredible, right? It's really, really incredible. Now, I've been in a situation like that too, where I had to end a relationship with a friend that I knew, for quite some time, but I didn't end it in that way. It wasn't like, I'm done with you, MFer, No, it wasn't nothing like that. I just simply stopped communicating with the person. And the person pretty much understood, right? I didn't need to get into the, screw you and blah, blah, blah. I didn't need to get into all of that. So it's just quite remarkable that this thing has been going on for 10 years. And I hope that they're able to resolve it sometime in the future, because I think the older you get, you begin to ask yourself these questions. Is it really worth it? Right? And you got to be able to filter situations individually. I give you an example. Is the person you cut off, do they have a negative impact on you when they're around you? Or is it that they did something that you absolutely disagreed with? But if you're being honest with yourself, you had a good time around the person. They're not a bad person. They didn't bring any negative energy around you or negative people or put you in compromising situations. Then if I'm you, I would reevaluate that situation. But if it's a person that, man, put you in a compromising position when you were with him or her, things were always going wrong, there was always some type of drama, something like that, then I can understand one taking a firm stance, because listen, I'm doing this for my well-being as well, because you're having a negative impact on my life. Based on what we knew about Charles Barkley and Michael Jordan, they were friendly. I never heard any stories of Charles Barkley getting Jordan into something or whatever, vice versa. They seem to be very good friends. So, for me, the question becomes, is it worth it? Now, this is just me. I can only speak for myself, and I'm sure Jordan and Charles Barkley, they can speak for themselves as well, and I'm not going to speak for them. But, the question still remains, how long do we want to hold on to things, how long do we really want to hold on to things? And when does it get to the point where the things that we say we don't care about, when does it get to the point where we realize that, listen, we're carrying something with us as well? So these are my thoughts and opinions on this. What I want to know from you guys is, what do you think about what Charles Barkley had to say? And finally, do you think that these gentlemen will ever come to a sound resolution and ultimately, be able to put this, behind them? Because, so that's my question to you guys. Whatever you guys think, please leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section. We'll catch you on the next show. Peace.